Hello, fifth graders. Monday, week 35. Can you believe it? All right, so today, the week, I can't talk this morning. The theme of the week is time to shine. Now, you could ask me, why is it time to shine? It's time to shine because today, or this week on Thursday and Friday, is finally that snow cone prep test. Snow cone prep test. I know sometimes when I come off of a weekend, I'm like, wait, where am I? What am I doing? But anyway, snow cone prep test this Thursday and Friday. So what is that exactly? That's kind of the culmination or like the ending of all the fifth grade math that you learned. Okay. So basically, if you take those blue flashcards, and those blue flashcards is not all the math you learned all year, but it's like the different sections. So let's just talk about them and think about them for a second. At the beginning of the year, you start with place value, and you went place value to the 100 millions. And then for the first time, you went backwards to the decimals, to the 1/10ths, 100ths, 1,000ths. You did expanded form. You wrote them. You were able to read big numbers. Then you learned to round them. You put them in order. Then you did decimal stuff. And then what did you do with decimals for a while? First, you learned to add and subtract decimals. Remember, line up the decimal. Sometimes you have to add a 0 at the end so both sides balance so that it's easy to put them in order or line them up. Okay, that was like the trick. Then we multiplied decimals. Well, how do you multiply decimals? Remember, you ignored the decimal, multiplied normally, and then put the decimal back in after counting how many numbers are behind the decimal. Okay, then we divided decimals. We only touched on that for a minute. Dividing decimals is not big in fifth grade, but basically, if there's a division problem with a decimal, you just put the decimal straight up and divide normally. We also learned for the first time long division. Okay, if you remember in fourth grade, you did big 7, but you did the standard algorithm or long division in fifth grade. You learned magic 0 for the first time, which is the standard algorithm for multiplying. Instead of doing area model box, you did that. Then we moved into some geometry. We did some volume, length times width times height, base times height. We did some factorization. Remember where you take a number and break it down into its prime factors, our factor tree. Then we went into, after winter break, we started to dive into fractions, everything with fractions. First, we found equivalent fractions, fractions that are equal to each other, something you did in fourth grade. And then we multiplied fractions, which is really repeated adding of them. Then we used 2-box area model to do 2 by 1. Then we did a 4-box area model. Then we added fractions with unlike denominators by stacking it. Then we divided fractions. And then we did some stuff with number lines and coordinate grids and a lot of stuff. So you've learned a ton of math this year, and now it's just putting it all together. So today what you're going to do is basically we're going to do a problem of the day just to wake up our brains today. And then you're going to hopefully finish your snow cone prep quiz from last Friday. I'm not sure if you guys finished or not. I didn't see a lot of scores in, so maybe you guys were still finishing it today. That's the main thing to do. Otherwise, you guys are going to work on your flashcards, and I have a digital version of those for you to work with if you prefer, okay? But first, let's dive into a problem of the day, okay? There's the problem of the day. It says, and we'll go over it. Oh, what is that? Sign in. That was random. Okay. I guess it's randomly asking me to sign in. There you go. Did you see that? Did you see what I typed? Try that again. Okay, so the problem of the day says, what is the product of 3 1/3? So get out your math notebooks, and 5. So 2 flashcards you have to know here. First, you have to know product. Is that add, subtract, multiply, or divide? By now, you have to know that. And then once you do know what it is, then look at it and go, what kind of problem is that? Okay, so let's dive over and take a look. Oh, upside down. Bear with me. Here we go. Whoa. All right. Okay, so product is multiply. And what kind of problem is this? It's not stacking because that would be adding. It's 2-box area model. Okay, now I know your brain's just waking up this morning. So we go 3 plus 1/3. And what goes over here? Yep, a 5. And then Mr. Manderfeld has always asked you to write what actually is going in there, not just put the product right away. First, we know that 5 is coming over. 3 is coming down, so we have 5 times 3. 5 is coming over. 1/3 is coming down. And then just multiply. 5 times 3 is 15. Mr. Gilroy always had us circle it so we know we're done. This is what kind of problem is this? Yep, repeated adding. 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3, or as most of us do, we put it over 1 and multiply straight across to get 5/3. But now what kind of problem is this? See, another flashcard. It's a fraction greater than 1 because the top is bigger than the bottom. So 5 divided by 3 is 1, remainder 2/3. And then what do you do to these two numbers? You add them, so 15 plus 1 and 2/3. Notice the fraction part's going way over there, is 16 and 2/3. Perfect. All right. So if you already did this, your brain's warmed up, and you're ready to tackle that math quiz today. It's the same one from Friday, so just for the kids that need to finish. If not, let me show you here. I have, and I'll put this in Google Classroom, your flashcards using a flippity. So if I click the link here. So look, we have flashcards right here. So it says the formula for volume. Oh yeah, length times width times height, base times height. You click it, it gives you it. Then you can go to the next one. Prime factors of 112. Prime factorization, remember, is the factor tree. Factor tree. Let's do one more. How do you move on a coordinate grid? X, then Y, over, then up. Over on the X, then up on the Y. So you get it. You can just study through these. There might be some extra stuff here. You can play with some of this stuff. So yeah, study those flashcards. Make sure you know those. Also, there's going to be 6 math problems for you to do for your classwork / homework. You can work on those. Miss Smith and Miss Lindsay, if you really need more stuff because you're like, they already did the math quiz, they just didn't turn it in or something, I'm not sure. Then you could take those type of problems that are on the homework or on the classwork and do a couple of those on the board as a class, and then go ahead and do those. So it's a short video today because we're supposed to go light because it's a big iReady testing week. And also, hopefully, mostly you should be finishing your flashcards. Okay? All right. Have a great day. I will come by and visit you guys, give you a big smile. It's hat day, so hopefully you're all wearing your hats. Tomorrow's I Spy Day.